Black on black male murder war. Black folks. The past 40 years we have accepted black on black male murders as way of life culture of violence. This psychosocial engineering murder war is driven by inner self-hate, disrespect, distrust, and external racial oppression. During this time, there have been many nations at war, and these wars have ended. Not so for warring black men. You would think after 4 decades we as a people would have said enough is enough. That we must stop put an end to black on black male homicides. You would think that black folks would have amassed together like we did to struggle to gain voting rights and civil rights. It's been obvious that saving black men is less important than voting and eating at integrated restaurants. Yes, you would think by now we would have established violence prevention and conflict resolution institutions in our communities to stem this violence, but we haven't. Yet we give billions of dollars to black churches. Most do nothing at all to help black men in the community. Obviously, at some point the warring black men stopped caring, and our piecemeal intervention, less than minimal assistance, and inconsistent salvation efforts or no support at all shows we really don't care. Let's keep it real. Black men have been a sacrificial gender now for decades. Too often black men are viewed by many black women as mere sperm donors. Their constant death disappearance can be replaced by women. Thus the significant rise of lesbianism in our communities. The disappearance of black men begins early in life. Too many black boys' fate have been the school-to-prison pipeline. From the womb to an early tomb. Tupac said they see death around the corner. Growing up constantly hearing an Eggers ain't shit rest ultimately leads to many young black males having a death wish mentality, cemetery culture, a rush to an early grave where they feel unloved and expendable. To them dying is better than living. They kill themselves, suicide, or get killed by suicide in sight-provoking and deadly encounter with another black males. Whether young black men know it or not, their massive murdering of each other generates billions of dollars for police, hospitals, coffins, funerals, etc. Their endless death beef lyrics murder each other. Rap music makes billions of dollars for white male music executives. The marketing of black males murdering each other is tremendously lucrative. Some data regarding the black male violence and deaths. From 1980 to 2013, 262 black males were killed in America. By contrast, roughly 58,000 Americans died in Vietnam. Since 2001, Chicago has experienced 7,916 murders, mostly black males as of September 6, 2016. The number of Americans killed in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq was 2,384 and 4,504 respectively since 2001. Every 3 hours, a young black male dies by gun homicide in the United States. Black men and boys ages 15 to 34 make up just 2% of the nation's population. They were among 37% of gun homicides that year. Young black men are 21 times more likely to be shot and killed by police than their white counterparts. Black men were nearly 14 times more likely to die in a firearm homicide than white men, and 8 times more likely to die in a firearm homicide than the general population, including women. The societal narrative that black males as perpetrators rather than human beings who experience racism, discrimination, and depression is an example of the dehumanization assumptions many black males encounter in the United States. High homicide rates in the black community, in which black males are the primary offenders, present a picture of black males lacking respect for life, thus promoting an narrative that black males do not experience pain and trauma like other males. In the United States, generations of young black males ages 15 to 24 years are prematurely dying from homicide and suicide. Between 1950 and 2010, the average death rate for young black males due to homicide was 81.7 per 100,000 and suicide was 11.8 per 100,000. Ages 15 to 24 years are the intersecting developmental stages of adolescence and young adulthood when premature death should not be expected. The trauma and cease procreation prospects stemming from black males' premature deaths represent a public health crisis in America. The mass suicide homicide killings, premature deaths, and death disparities among young black males, ages 15 to 24, in the United States is not a paranoid propaganda. It is undeniably a disturbing public health crisis that requires an urgent national response to reverse and ultimately eradicate the premature death of young black males. Unfortunately, black folks, we're the only people on the planet I know of that have the attitude both consciously and unconsciously that black men are doomed and disposable. Just let them constantly murder each other. This fatalistic attitude is menticide while black men continue to commit fratricide. Psychiatrist Francis Cresswell-Sing, The ISIS Papers. The destruction of black males now is indirect, so that the black male victims themselves can be led to participate in and then be blamed for their own mass deaths. We do not realize that the massive deaths of black males constitute the genocide of black people, as it takes black males to make black babies and ensure future black generations. Most important, black males must help one another to understand that they are being led by the dynamic of white supremacy to inflict extreme damage upon themselves, one another, and ultimately the black race.